Okay, round one. Okay, let's start with e4 here. Music is supposed to be low. Yeah, so I'm gonna mix it up. A lot of the view arenas where I've tried to be educational with like I've played e4 almost exclusively, so I'm gonna start to actually change it. Feels like if you download trainer, you might as well be going for a world record, right? But I don't want to actually spend like, I mean, if I download the trainer, I can tell you what's gonna happen. I'm probably gonna just stop streaming chess for the next month until I get like a 20-minute run or something. Okay, so let's see. So I'm gonna play the Spanish. I think Spanish or the Scotch are the two best openings. No, I'm not kidding. Like, if you guys want me to turn to Force and where I spend like literally the next month only playing only up, then sure. But okay, I'm gonna play c3 to open up the center here. But yes, that's what's gonna happen. If I were to download a trainer, you're gonna literally get like nothing but like 20-hour streams of me like playing only up, and I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing. There goes bishop g7. Now again, I don't want to cheese people because the whole point is to be educational. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna castle and follow the basic themes here. First of all, I've got my center with the chain of 3, and I also have a pawn at e4 here. So he castles. So what I want to do here is finish my development if I can. Now, is there an easy way to do this? Probably the easiest way is to bring the bishop out to g5, which also creates a pin of the knight here on e7. He goes a6, attacking my bishop. I'll go back. Now, normally the reason you retreat the bishop back to a4 so that you have other squares to go to, you don't really ever trade. You don't want to trade the bishop for this knight on c6, generally speaking. So I'm trying to keep the bishop on the board, and I can scoot it back to either b3 or c2. Multiple diagonals. Okay, it goes b5. Now, multiple choice, and actually in the Spanish there are many situations where the bishop can go to either of these two squares. Sometimes I don't even know if there's an actual general rule which square to go to, but my understanding is that normally you go to c2 if you really need to overprotect the pawn at e4 and you can't get threats on this long diagonal. But here I think I can get threats, so I'm going to go to b3 because black can't go knight a5 to harass the bishop because then you lose a pawn. I don't know if that's a general hard rule per se, but I would say that normally it's like you don't put the bishop on you put the bishop on c2 if you really don't see the scope on this long diagonal. So he goes d5. Don't want to. D5 is a blunder. Is there a way to not just end the game instantly? Not really. So I'm just going to take here because there's a pin of the, if knight takes, he loses the queen. So I'm simply up a pawn here. Am I going to do a Botez Gambit decline speedrun? No, but we're going to do a Botez Gambit bullet speedrun pretty soon where I sack the queen pretty early. Hopefully I'll be able to get my rating to about 3,000. That's the goal. Goes bishop b7, good move. So he doesn't blunder the game in one by taking the bishop. So now what I want to do is I have extra material here, so I'm going to actually trade the bishop away from the knight, play d5, attack the bishop, and then finish my development, bring the knight in, bring the rook in, and once I finish the development, it's all good. Have you finished only up? I beat it on Saturday, you guys, on stream. I'll play it again later today because evidently nobody saw my stream on Saturday. I mean, it's pretty hilarious because I think we had about 5,000 people watching on Saturday, and it's like everyone here today is like, did you beat only up? Did you finish only up? And no one seems to be aware of that. So I will play it on stream today. If no one saw it, it didn't happen, right? Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to sack a pawn for a different theme here. I know this is not the simplest move, and most people who are low rated don't understand this move, but I want to set up a different theme here, which is after queen takes pawn, I'm going to play knight to b3, and I'm actually going to try to take advantage of this bishop that's really passive here. So I'm happy to trade the queens, pressure on the knight still for my bishop, and my knight's going to c5, and this bishop, as we're going to see, is actually very bad, so because it simply has no scope here. f6, good move, by the way. Excellent move by my opponent. Now what I'm going to play here is I'm going to go rook to d7, creating the classic kebab, attacking both the bishop and the knight at the same time. Only 5,000 sounds like a private party. Yeah, no, I don't know if we put it up on our second channel yet. I don't think we did, but we will be putting it up on the second channel. I'm going to try to break 1 hour today, though. I haven't done like any training or anything for anybody who's wondering. I think I'm gonna drop the bishop back here. Knight still under attack, and I'm gonna go knight c5. Second channel, it's no. I'll put the link in chat. Let's log in. There we go. Yeah. So here's the link. That's the yeah, that's the second channel. It's more GMHikaru. We'll have 129,000 subscribers on the channel, so big shout out to everybody who subscribed. Now I'm gonna go knight c5, and as you're seeing already, very, very passive bishop behind the pawn on c6 and the pawn on a6 as well. Very, very passive. So there we go. All right, we get pawn to f5 here, which does hang the bishop on b7. I saw you get to the dress girl and being all weird every jump, and then I missed the streams. That was like 4 or 5 days ago. Is there a clip? No, but we're gonna put the whole it took me like an hour 44 minutes because I fell on the beanstalk like 5 times. But we will put it up on that second channel, more GMHikaru. Okay, he goes f5. Now there isn't really a good decision or a good way to play it, so I'm just gonna take the bishop and win the game. Try the dragon skip. I mean, probably I should just download the trainer so that I can try the dragon skip. I don't know. Let's take. But like I said, I want to beat the game in sub 1 hour, just like without downloading the trainer, without like try harding. He takes. I'm gonna go rook d1, take the open file here. If he takes the pawn, I'm happy because I have an extra knight on the board. So it trades of the knights and bishops. I'm always happy to reduce the material. I'll go here, take the pawn. Let's take the pawn. Again, happy to trade off bishops, happy to trade off everything because I have an extra pony. Anytime you've got an extra horse, that's worth a lot. You know, horses are pretty expensive. To buy a horse that's gonna like be in like the Kentucky Derby or something, it's like at least like probably $200,000 to $300,000. So if I have an extra horse, I'm doing well. Let's go check here. King f5. Let's go e4. Knight guards the pawn. Knight covers a lot of the squares here. Wait, we beat only up, so we never have to play it again. That is correct, but I still want to see if I can improve on my time. So yeah, we'll play it much later though, not for some time. Okay, we get h5 here. I'll play knight e6, just win the rook on f8, and the rest is very, very basic. Okay, now like I said, I don't want to play e4 every game, so I'm going to play d4 this time. Almost all the educational view arenas I've done, I've just said like play e4 every single game. We will watch we'll watch Masterchef. We'll play only up much later. We're gonna play some more Blitz. I don't know if there are any events going on. Like I want to cover the World Open, which has a certain player in it as well. I'm gonna play c4 here and play like knight c3, knight f3. So yeah, if we get g6, I'm gonna go knight c3 here, develop my pieces. Am I gonna try other games? Absolutely. I ordered actually, for those of you guys who are wondering, I ordered what did I order? I went to Amazon. I ordered like a Hoyo commander, what's it called? Let me open my Amazon on the other tab. Okay, let's play knight f3 here. Yeah, I ordered the Hori fighting commander Octa controller, so I'm gonna probably play Tekken or Street Fighter 6 on stream, because Street Fighter 6 was released like beginning of June, right? So I'm gonna play e4. We have a classic King's Indian here, very normal. White gets a lot of center. I mean, my opponent is following the classic speedrun themes. I'm gonna play bishop e2 and castles. I should have ordered Logitech. I wasn't sure. I mean, Logitech, it looked the reviews were very mixed, so I wasn't sure. I was looking for like a classic D-pad though, basically. So I'm gonna castle here. Knight c6, logical move. I'm gonna play d5. Street Fighter View Arena. I actually played a lot of Street Fighter back in the day when I was much younger. I mean, I'm pretty old now, so like we're already talking. Is it really 20 years ago? My God, I am old. Yeah, I played when I was like 15, 16, 17. There were a couple people that I played a lot of Street Fighter with. That's insane. That's actually insane. That's actually insane. Yeah. But yes, anyway though, where was I? They were trying to talk about chess, and here I'm going on like a long gamer rant. Let's trade here. Okay, takes. I'm gonna take. Now my opponent's kind of misplayed this, because with knight 6 and knight e5 as bishop, now there's a knight and a pawn in the way of the bishop, so I do have a slight advantage here due to my grip in the center. I'm gonna go c5, maybe b4, trying to take as much space as I can here in the center. No, but I'm just actually floored that it was that long ago. No, I'm actually like, I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like, it's bizarre. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably play like Street Fighter and some Tekken down the road. He goes c6. Now I'm gonna play rook d1 just to overprotect the pawn in the center here. We didn't start Master 3 or Master Chef season 3. We'll start that later today. We need one. There's one more episode of season 2, but we'll start season 3 today too. So anyway, all right, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to take most of the center. My opponent has these pawns. Again, the bishop on g7, very, very passive here. It's very blockade. Now queen a5, excellent move to target the pawn and dodge any threats on the file. I really like this. I'm going to play bishop e3, develop the bishop, bring it into the center of the board, but also guard the pawn as well. Do I cook sometimes? Yeah, I was doing a little bit of cooking this weekend. Actually, I was doing a bit of cooking. So I'll probably go to the market. I mean, I'm streaming all day today, so I don't have time, but I'll probably go to the market and buy some halibut or maybe some salmon and like probably I'll sous vide it. Maybe I'll get like Chilean bonefish or whatever you call it. I'm gonna go a3 and b4 here. The reason is I want to harass the queen with my pawns and take more space as well. So that's why I played a3 here. So let's see. Anyway, all right, okay. Anyway, I'm not retired. I'm not retired from Only Up, you guys. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna trade the queens, and the reason I'm gonna trade the queens is because I win a pawn here on c6. Let's trade the rooks here, and I basically with the very passed pawn on c6 I'm doing well. Oh, it's Patagonian toothfish, right? Of course we call that sea bass in proper English, but yeah, I'll probably go do that. Yeah, goes rook c8. Now what I'm going to do here is knight d5. If he trades knights, he connects my passed pawns, and these pawns are just marching right up the board in a hurry. If he takes the pawn, he loses to knight takes pawn with a fork. So by going here, I'm trying to trade the pawns. Bishop f8, good move. I'm gonna go c7 here. He can probably take the knight, but then he creates a connect 4 pawn chain, which is what I'm aiming for. And I just go like b4. I even have c6 maybe, but I think I'm just gonna go b4. And I have 4 connected pawns. He has 2 sets of double pawns. Very, very bad position for black. So yeah, I cook every so often, not frequently, but sometimes. I mean, or I can just be a lazy bum and just get like some pasta. Okay, I'm gonna go c6 here. Idea to play a4, b5 even. Very, very, very bad position for my opponent. If e6, I can push p and win the game, also with the rook behind the passed pawn. I'm gonna go here, b5, and these pawns are just marching up the board in a hurry. If I go d6, takes, d7 should be winning. I just push the pawn straight through. My schedule said only up because I intend to play only up later today. If I could talk to somebody from the past, who would I talk to? Who would I talk to from the past? That's an interesting question. I don't actually know who I would talk to. I actually don't know. From ancient history, I mean, there are probably a few people, but I don't know. Bach is winning his game. Oh, is Bach playing in the Dutch Championship? I didn't see it, but maybe he is. Maybe I'll cover that later. Anyway, I'm pushing the pawn through, and I am going to win this game. Let's make a queen. Let's take. And now I'm going to play h4 to create the classic Lufthansa for my king. My king can run. Just create the Luft so there's no classic back rank checkmate, or the ice skaters we like to call it these days. So I just create space for the king. Let's go check. Yeah, the new record is 1710. I saw Distortion's video. I didn't watch it very closely, but I did see it. It was in my recommended. Okay, again, that's why I created the Lufthansa by pushing the pawn. So now the king slides to h2 here. Okay, now he goes h5. Not a great move because now I have this great dark square grip. I control all the dark squares here, and now the pawns are just kind of not doing anything particularly impressive. Let's go check, win the rook. Now I'll just move the rook, push the pawn. Not really very worried here. Okay, next game. 1704. Okay, I saw that 1710 video upload, but I didn't see a quick run. Okay, now I plays d4. Now I don't want to make this like the speed run, so I think an opening that I think honestly, if you're new to the game, there really are two openings you should play. Either you play the King's Indian or you play the Queen's Gambit Decline. Though these are the two basic openings. The reason I like the Queen's Gambit Decline, you get this development, you get a little piece of the center with the pawn on d5, but you develop very quickly. Get the knight, bishop, king out of the center immediately. Now I just need to develop these three pieces, and the way that I'm going to develop them is I'm gonna actually take the pawn here. Now this order is not best, and mind you, I know probably people who are strong will get annoyed at me for saying this, but I think at the lower levels openings don't matter so much as themes matter. And so taking is technically speaking imprecise, but by taking and now going b6, the diagonal is always open for the bishop. And for someone who's newer to the game of chess, I think that's more important than playing the super quote-unquote precise order with b6 first. So okay, now we go knight d7. I'm going to play c5 here in rook c8, and just like that, perfect harmony has been achieved here. All my pieces have been developed. So why is he 500? Because he's terrible at chess. Indeed, you guys, I'm very bad at chess. I agree. So yeah, so we have a pretty good stream ahead. Okay, goes bishop a3. I'll just play rook c8 again. All the harmony, all the pieces are developed here. My queen, I guess technically it's still on its starting square, but every other piece is great. This diagonal will open for the bishop. This diagonal already opened for the other bishop. So both of these bishops are well placed. Knight on f6 controls some central squares here. So knight on f6 is good. Knight on d7 supports both the knight and the pawn on c5. So all these pieces are pretty well placed. I was curious when I would catch you on here again. Yeah, I was just tired. I'd streamed a lot. So I wanted to clear my head, took a few days off from streaming. That's what I was doing. I did stream on Saturday, of course, here on Kick. So if you missed the stream on Saturday, I did complete only up, but I will play it again. We'll do our encore. I'm gonna try to beat the game in sub 1 hour. That's my goal. And then maybe to finish off the game, probably not today, but maybe to finish off the game, I'll do like a pure integrity run at some point. But that's about it. I don't want to like download the trainer and try to speed run or do anything insane. I mean, that's just a little bit too far for me. So I'm gonna go rook d8 here. Rooks are on both of the open files now as well, so it's pretty good. Was I hyped? Of course I was super hyped. Yeah. For beginners, I think for beginners the hardest piece to understand is the bishop. And so that's why, like, again, if I'm playing like a top rated player, I will generally go b6 and bishop b7, because the point is that if white takes, you get like the e4 square, and I'll explain this after the game. Let's just go a6. Idea to play b5, take more space and remove the bishop from the square on c4. No, I was super thrilled to win the game, so yeah. Anyway, super thrilled to win the game. Do you think the classical Dutch defense can be played for advanced players? Dutch can be played by top players. I mean, I was basically the pioneer. I revived the Dutch from the dead in the late 2000s, like 2009, 10, 11. I mean, I was the premier expert of the Dutch defense. I think it's still playable every so often, but I think it's very difficult. There's a ton of theory now. It's very hard to get an advantage, and generally people know what to do against in a way they didn't before. So Dutch is playable at the top level. By the way, I went knight c5 so I can play e5, but if I go e5, if he moves the knight, I move the queen. So if he moves the knight away, he loses the queen. If he goes here to attack my queen, I slide up to target the knight on f5 here, and I'm doing very, very well. So it's a playable opening, the Dutch, but I wouldn't generally recommend it at the top levels. Yeah, that's what I would say. I think it's playable, but it's not best. So anyway, we keep on rolling. Are all the possible openings already discovered in chess? In terms of like openings in the first couple of moves, absolutely, they're all discovered. But I would say like there still are ideas like within openings that probably can be discovered. I have an idea, and I'm not going to say anything about it today, but I have an idea for an opening concept that I may try to play, and maybe it'll be named after me. So let's go queen e6 here and attack the knight on f5. So I do actually have some ideas in mind, but we'll see. Chat delayed, by the way. I'm not seeing a lot of messages come through. Okay, there we go. Okay, we get queen c2, good move. sidesteps the attack, and he guards the knight on f5. When is Naka leaving for the World Cup? Okay, now I'm gonna go e4 here because now I break the coordination of the queen to the knight, but I also am attacking a bishop, so both these pieces are currently under attack here. So for the FIDE World Cup, I'll be leaving at the end of July, you guys, so nothing changes. I continue to show up to work every day, Monday through Friday, basically like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or a little bit longer than that. So nothing changes. I continue to stream as always. Yeah. Someone says, I'm making a presentation on chess. Have you ever said this? Chess is a game where the rules are fixed, but the strategies and outcomes are infinite. Similarly, in life, we have limitations, but unlimited possibilities. Yeah, I mean, actually, you know, I was gonna say one other thing that's like I was thinking about last night, and I just to use Only Up as a comparison. Like I was thinking about Only Up, and one of the reasons that I really enjoy Only Up, I really enjoyed it, why it became so addictive for me, is because it's actually quite similar to chess in the standpoint that like when you play Only Up, it seems like it's so ridiculously easy. Like literally just do a jump. Like the basic concept is like jump and grab. That's all you have to do. Spacebar, and WASD. Like very basic rules, but actually very difficult game. And chess is the exact same way, where it's very easy to learn the basic rules, the way the pieces move and so forth, but mastering it is very, very tricky. So I mean, I think yeah, like life is kind of similar, except the thing with life is that I don't think life is as easy. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna sack the tower for the horse because now I'm gonna have bishop and 2 horses for a rook, which is more than enough. Yeah. And just like one blunder turns the game into a loss, one fall restarts your whole run. Yeah, it's very similar because it's like when you play Only Up, you're like, okay, how hard can it be? Literally jump and grab. I mean, literally jump and grab. Short jump, long jump, whatever. Like they're like 3 jumps: long, short, medium. That's it. And just grab the piece of wood or grab the boat or whatever it is. And how hard can it be? And chess the same. But I don't know if I agree completely with the whole thing about life, because if you look at life, I'm not so sure that life, I mean, like, you cannot tell me life is easy rules. I mean, where you are in life, obviously, I mean, you can end up on some whole long discussion about it, but I feel like in life, a lot of where you end up is based on who you're born to. Like, I mean, if you're born in Africa, you're already, I mean, the RNG has kind of screwed you to begin with. So I don't know if I completely agree with you know, like unlimited possibilities or like, you know, being like chess. I'm not sure I completely buy it. Okay, so he played rook fe1 here. What I'm going to play here is I'm going to go queen to d5, line with the classic double A battery, and go for checkmate. I'm just saying, like, it is RNG. Like, if I'm born in Somalia, I mean, am I really going to be where I am today? I'm not trying to be like weird or anything, but I mean, okay, let's just checkmate a 1. Let's just take the pawn on g2. Let's keep going. I mean, you can overcome everything to some degree, but I mean, just being honest. Okay, here we go. Next game. Okay, we have black again. I'm gonna. Oh, I didn't explain what I was trying to explain about the queen's gambit decline, but I'm probably gonna play queen's gambit decline again, and I'll try to explain it this time. I could have become a top pirate. Oh, that's right. Actually, that's right. Is that where it is? Oh, I mean, I also could have been like, I could also have been like sending emails scamming people too, right? Like, you know, I mean, my name is Hikaru. I have this really rich uncle. He's worth billions of dollars. You know, just send me $1,000 and then I'll send you your great inheritance. Let's castle here. Now, yeah, actually, we're gonna get the same thing with the queen's gambit declined. But what I'm going to do is, the reason I'm not going to play b6 is after b6 takes, the bishop gets walled in behind the pawn in front. Now at the top levels, there are concepts like knight e4 which exist, and I'll explain this more in depth because I can't just do it with arrows. But at the beginner level, I would just take and go like b6, bishop b7, because you have the open diagonal here. Really, really important. So that's so offensive, bro. Okay, what? You're going to try to cancel me for that? Okay, I just go here, play c5. Now again, my opponent missed something here. He could have played e4, which would have been very strong. He does it 1 move too late, and now he's gonna have problems. Let's go e5, attack the bishop and the knight. But Why do I like 80s music? I like all music. You want me to find something better? Okay, I'll change. What do you guys want? What's something new? I mean, that's only 2000s music, but let's change it. Okay, we got knight f3, so I just take the bishop. He walked into the fork. I'm gonna explain what I was gonna explain before, but let's go here, use the extra bishop I have here, try to create the scope and just win the game. Do I like Japanese music? I mean, I don't really want to put Japanese music on because then you're gonna have all the weebs coming out acting all like insane. Now I'm gonna go knight e5 here because white would love to go e5 and open up the scope, so I just clog it so you can't push and open up the diagonal. And now it's just his bishop and his queen are just useless because he can't open this diagonal. It's just not possible. There's a3. I'm gonna play f3 here, and then I'm gonna go queen g5 and just win the game. Why less viewers on Kick? A couple of reasons. First of all, this thing called Chess TV does not exist, which has benefited all the chess streamers I might add across the board on Twitch. But then secondly, there are a lot of people who don't know what Kick is. There's a lot of like negative media and attention around it as well, so there's some of that stuff. Now what I'm going for here is I'm gonna go for the classic lolly checkmate, speaking of all that Japanese anime weeb type stuff, with queen h3 and queen g2. This of course predates the Japanese stuff by many years, because this was discovered by Giambattista Lolli, the famous Italian chess player in like the 1700s. So okay, he stops me from getting the lolly, but I'm gonna go here and take away the square from the queen, so I'm still setting up the lolly. Yeah, it goes there. Okay, so I think I'm trying to find a way to mate, but there isn't a clean way to get a checkmate. I guess I'll take with a bishop here, take, and I mean I'm looking for a clean way to get the lolly, but I can't do it. So let's go rook d8, queen f1. Now I'm going to create the kebab. This bishop very powerful on this diagonal. Very important to note the power of bishops if there is not an opposing bishop. If you can get a bishop on a diagonal like this, there's no way to basically block it, so I'm always spying the pawn permanently. So he goes b4. I'm going to play bishop d4, attack the knight, create the pin. Okay, now I'm going to take the pawn. So he goes king h1. I guess I just take the rook, or take the queen, take the knight. It's all very basic. So yeah, I'm gonna explain actually what I was starting to say. So one second, let me explain something. Oh, actually I can start explaining it already because this game will be over in a second. You know, chess is a game where they're basically, I would say a very basic way of putting it is chess is a game where there's say 1,000. I'm gonna get the lolly anyway, by the way. Where there are 1,000 rules in chess and you learn when to break every single one of those rules. And this game is, I mean, it's sort of like this is an example here where d takes c4 is a mistake. It's not the best move, but for people who are newer to the game, so if you're playing someone who's like 600 and you're rating 600, like if you get this position, your opponent is not going to know to punish you with a move like e4 and take the center, or like c5 d5, or even something like rook e8, one to play e5, one to play d5. Like these concepts are fairly advanced, and so at a beginner level you don't have to play super precise moves. And so I would say that I put priority on this open diagonal and your opponent not knowing what the right moves are, versus trying to play the actual precise order, which would be something like b6 here. Because after takes, this is completely fine for black objectively, but the problem is if you get some position like bishop d3, bishop b7 and castles, let's just say you go like knight e4 and white goes like rook c1. I mean, ignore the evaluation, everything else, because this is about the theme. You have this problem with this pawn on c7, so you have to worry about white trading the knights and winning this pawn on c7. That's number one. Number two, if you go c6, suddenly you close the diagonal and you just drop a pawn in the center of the board. So knowing how to deal with these ideas, with this pressure on the c pawn, you have this closed diagonal, the moves are not really, I would say, intuitive at all at a beginner level on what you're supposed to do if you get this position with the closed diagonal, which is why like I'm saying, you should just take and play it like this, where you get the open diagonal, because at a beginner level someone's not going to be able to punish you and know exactly how to find the absolute precise moves. It's just not possible. Now against someone like Magnus, of course, I would get absolutely toasted if I played an imprecise move order like this, but at the beginner level none of that stuff matters whatsoever, which is why I would say when you play queen. Also, one other point I want to make, another thing, you know, in terms of like the rules and learning them all, is like there also are positions here where even though you played b6 and the concept as well, you put the pawns on a7, b6, c7, of course you have to fianchetto the bishop, right? There are situations where actually you play bishop g4 and you don't care that you push the pawn to b6, you don't fianchetto your bishop, you just use the other diagonal. So these are some like more advanced concepts, but at the beginner level I think it's much more important to like focus on the priority of like open diagonals for bishops. So let's keep going. King's Indian gives too much space for white. That's hard for intermediate beginner players to play with. On the one hand, yes. On the one hand, no, because you have a very straightforward plan of attacking on the king side. Let's play e4 here. Can we get c5? I'm going to play the opening that I played as a child, my favorite opening probably, which is the Le Grand Prix attack with knight c3 and f4. Now this actually, I think I said something on stream. So I ordered a couple of chess programs. Very specifically, I'll just pull this up very briefly. This specific position that I have on the board, there was this program. Let me change the scene. This program called the Novag J2, and it was a program. It was this pocket program set. It was about 2200 level, and I remember that there were many games when I was young in like 97 where I would actually like you pull the pieces, make the moves and everything else. And so when we get back to my game, let me change the scene. I'm gonna play takes and bishop b5 check. I actually played this specific position many games against that Novak J2 chess program, and also it's worth noting if black plays bishop d7, there's queen e2, and it's a slight trick. So my opponent plays knight 6, which is the correct move. Also, this position very relevant because the game that I won to become the youngest American master in history at like 10 years and like God knows how many days was in this position against the master Ilya Terzic in the year 1997. So many memories from many moons ago. Let's just castle here and play knight to e5, put pressure on this knight on c6 here. So yeah, not to go way back in time, you guys, but the game that I won to break masters, it was a cold winter night in New York City. I was playing a tournament at the Marshall Chess Club against this guy Ilya Terzic, and I beat him in this game, and that's the game that helped me cross 2200 rated 2200 level. So okay, anyway, we got queen c7 here. I'm gonna take with the bishop, play d3, open up the scope for the bishop. Yeah, it's pretty scary to think about it, though. That's like all these things, these stories I'm talking about are from like 25 years ago. It's pretty ridiculous on the one hand. So yeah, actually I ordered some of the stuff right. Bishop g4 is a blunder. Give me one second, let me bring it just to show you guys. So it goes bishop g4. I'm going to take. Now what I'm going to do here is just simple development, just bring the bishop, bring the queen in. So yeah, like for example, I ordered some stuff off of eBay, and like I think you guys can see this, right? Can you see this? Yeah, so I'm gonna make some content on YouTube with this, but this is like a Mephisto, what's it called? I don't know what it's called, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna make some content. But this is like back when I was young, like in 96 97, this was cutting edge, you guys. This was cutting edge stuff. So it's like you would basically you would basically like manually like make the moves, you pull it out, pull the peg out, put in the other squares and everything else. That suite was expensive. I don't know how much I paid on eBay. We did a video on. I'm gonna go f5, open up the diagonals, bring pieces in the center of the board. But yeah, that was cutting edge. That was cutting edge because computers were not really common. Pocket chess battleship. Yeah, it does look like that. Yeah, it does look like battleship. Let's go bishop f4 and hit the queen here. You don't seem as old as you are. I don't know. Well, it's probably because I'm just Asian. Let's go bishop e5 here. Try to trade some pieces. Give me one second. Let me put it back out. Okay, so we get rook a c8 here. So I do have an extra knight on the board, so I'm happy to trade off pieces. So I'm just going to trade everything off. He looks good for 50. Yeah, let's go queen h5, go after the pawn. Just bring the last rook to the party here with rook a e1 next move. But anyway, so yeah, I mean that's how I learned chess when I was young. It's like I would basically play around with all these pockets. So I'm gonna try to get another lolly here if I can. Probably not, but it's true Asians don't age from age 30 to 60. Okay. Wait, is Hikaru actually 50? Come on, you guys. Oh, speaking of which, of course, obviously, just to point it out, you guys know I'm not 50, but since we are on that topic, I'll pull this up very briefly so you guys can see this. Of course, you'll notice that on the July rating list, I am currently ranked number 2 in the world, rating 2787. My age is 35. But speaking of people who are over 50 years old, number 9 in the world is Vishy Anand, age 53 at 2754. So a couple of old people doing really well. Who's the number 2 guy? Yeah, that would be me. Shocking, right? Shocking. Tell me about it. Anyway, we get queen g4 here. I'm just going to take the pawn with check. Have to stop the checkmate next turn. He has a nice little idea. I guess I'll go here, try to bring the knight to the party. So anyway, yeah, I'm only 48 points behind Magus. Yeah, but I don't really care about that. What I would say is that it's kind of wild because the last time I was number 2 in the world at chess was in the year 2015. So nearly, I think it was like maybe, was it September or August of 2015? So nearly 8 full years ago, you guys, that I was number 2 in the world. I'm gonna move the queen and push the pawn and win the game here. But yeah, goes queen g5. So I push, he takes the queen, so I'm gonna move my queen up. Still want to push the pawn. I've got a rook behind it, a queen to support it as well. It should be pretty good. But yeah, 8 years ago, almost to the month. Okay, so let's take what rank was I last year? So when I decided to start playing tournaments again it was in, I think, 2022. It was February 2022. My rating was like 2736 or something. So my rating has gone up like 50 points. I've apparently played the best chess in the world of anybody over the last 12 months. So it's been pretty good. Let's go here, attack the queen, win the rook. GG, why not? Actually, you know what, I'll go rook f6 here. His pieces are stuck. Can't move the rook because then I queen. Can't move the queen's covered. Every square is covered. So black's queen and rook are completely stuck here. So I take and checkmate on g7 next turn. Let's just make a check and mate. Yeah, so basically, yeah, like my rating has gone up a lot. Just we'll get back to it in a second. But if we look at my rating, we look at the rating graph, actually, let me change the scene so you guys can see it more clearly. If you look at the rating graph, you'll see like my rating, it says 2746. It was 2736. I don't know why it doesn't register, but then it's like, oh wait, this is 2019. Wait, there's my graph. Okay, this is a better graph. So yeah, so basically 2019, it should go say 2736. I don't know why it doesn't register. But basically, yeah, where is it? Yeah, 2736. There we go. December 2019, my rating was 2736, and of course then I stopped playing chess. As you see, it's like does nothing for over a year. Then it goes up, so like 2736 to 2784 or something. I mean, that's what it is. Because I mean, my performance was actually quite it's been quite good over the last like year and a half or something. Let me see if I can find it somewhere. There was a it was somewhere. Where is it? Trying to find this link because there was a link that shows my performance, if I can ever find it, which I probably can't find, but let me see. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, I'm looking for some of my TPR, but I can't find it right off. Where is it? Where is it? Insane. Yeah, I can't find it right off. Maybe someone in chat can tell me where it is. Because yeah, I don't actually see it. I'm trying to find the TPR because it's somewhere here. Where is it? Trying to find it. Give me 1 second. Sorry, you guys. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it. Whatever. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let me change the scene, and away we go. All right, let's keep going. Next game. Okay, let's play d4 this time. Get d4 d5, but apparently I have the best performance in the world since basically 2022 or something. Okay, with d4 d5, I'm gonna play c4 here. Pretty standard. You can play c4, you can play the London system. One of these two are most reasonable, so I'm gonna go knight c3 here, just develop. If black overtakes, there's e4. I found the link. How can I send it? Send it to one of my mods. Send it to Creamsicle. Okay, knight f6. Now I'm going to trade the pawns here, and after takes, I will play bishop to g5 and e3, or just tell me what it starts with, because I think I've opened it, so I can probably pull it up myself. If you just put like the first, like, it's whatever the website is, just write it without putting it as a link, because I have visited the page, so if I just know, I'm sure it'll pop up in my history. If you just put like the first, like, whatever the website is, but don't put .com or something, I can pull it up. Okay, now we get knight b7 here. Now, this is a very tricky move because he's hoping that I take the pawn, seeing this pin, and I win the game. But after knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, bishop takes queen, it actually loses to bishop b4 check. So I'm gonna play e3 and develop instead. Now knight takes is a threat here because my king can scoot up like a ball club. But he plays bishop e7 to break the pin, and now I will just develop naturally with bishop d3 and then knight g2 or knight f3 next move. So, okay. I'm gonna play knight g2. Do you have any guilty pleasures when it comes to shopping? No, you guys. No, other than Hawaiian shirts, I don't have anything that I spend money on. So rook b1 and b4. I'd rather just invest money. I'm gonna play b4, maybe b5 here to play for the classic minority attack on the queen side. Knight g6. Okay, we just keep playing b5. Let's take. The center court roof is opening. Tennis is imminent. Did I see the Botez sisters disrespect her pineapple shirt? I don't really pay attention to that, honestly. Like, so much of that stuff that they do is just purely drama, is purely attempts to create drama. And I'm not going to get involved with any of that. Let's play knight g3 here, play queen c2, trade, take the knight on f6 and go from there. So all right, we get h6. I will take and take, and I'm gonna play queen c2, try to put pressure on these pawns here. So let's go queen c2, pressure. Also a classic right triangle as well. Yeah, so let's see what we get. Looking for, was I given a wild card by FIDE based on your performance last year? Wild card for which tournament? Which event are you guys talking about? I don't know which event. I don't fully understand the right choice. Tesla's up 8%. I'm actually not. I'm kind of mad about Tesla because I was looking at buying calls last week and I didn't do it, so I'm kind of a little bit pissed off about that. Not like really mad, because obviously I had shares, like, which I rode from 190 to 250, but I was still kind of annoyed. But I think it's overjuiced. I'm gonna play rook b7 and hit the bishop, and now I can play rook b1 next move. There's pressure here towards the bishop on d7 and the pawn on f7 as well. So yeah, okay, let me see. Oh, is this the link? I think I found the link, by the way. Or no, that's not the link. Anyway, all right, get rook a d8 here. Now how do I take advantage of these pawns on the queen? It's a little bit difficult. I think what I'm gonna do is try to use my knight, bring this in to get rid of this bishop which guards the pawns, either via b6 or via the c5 square. Anyway, do I think chess 960 is the future of professional chess? Definitely possible, hard to know. We get queen g5 here. I'm gonna go knight to b6, put pressure on the bishop on d7. Pawn on c6 is weak, and I think I have a pretty good position here. Pretty good position. I don't know if 960 is the future. I mean, I think down the road is. I don't think we're to that point yet, though. I think we're still, I mean, if you guys were to ask me where do I think chess is going, like in terms of like just regular chess, I would say that we probably, in terms of competitive chess and classical, we probably have, I'm gonna say, another 5 to 10 years for sure, depending on where theory goes, at least. But 5 to 10 for sure. Okay, let's take the bishop here because I eliminate the one defender of the pawn on c6. Now he's guarding with the rook, but now I can go bishop f5 to remove the rook, and once this pawn falls, the base, then the other pawn falls as well. So once the base of the chain collapses, then I just win the game. Although maybe it doesn't actually work. So if he moves the rook and I take, there's takes, so it doesn't quite work. But nonetheless, do I plan to play chess for a while longer? Absolutely. How do you not get bored of playing so much chess? Because when I come on stream and I play other games like Only Up, I am truly humbled and I realize how pathetically bad I am at most games. So that is a simple answer for those of you guys who are wondering. Now I can actually take anyway, because after takes I can take the knight on g6, but that's a simple answer. Let's take. I didn't actually play this great, but it probably will work out. Yeah, I mean, I always love it when I mean, there are these sites where people just say, oh, such an egomaniac, such a narcissist, all these absolutely absurd things about me. It's like, literally, like I mean, because of how good I am at chess, I realize that I'm not particularly good at a lot of other things. It's always comical when I see people who go off on this long tangent. Okay, now I'm gonna go rook a1 to line up the double stack on the 7th rank. Yet he won't become a Rocket League streamer. I've got to be careful because I don't have how much space do I have on my computer? Actually, I should check my hard drive. Let me see. I have 323 gigs, so I still have some gigs, but I actually installed Rocket League again yesterday on this computer. I had it on other computers, but I didn't do anything else. But yeah, well, I play Only Up. We're gonna play Only Up later today as well on stream. Okay, rook f8, great move. So I line up the double stack. There's queen h4 check, and again the right triangle is in play. So I'm gonna go f4. Pawn supports it. I can drop back, and I'm in pretty good shape here. Not enough space for games. Time to uninstall chess to make room for new games. Yeah. Okay, I go king g1. Of course, rook covers the e1 square. That would be a Botez gambit. So, I mean, X has been playing a lot of Rocket League, right? I think X has, yeah. But okay, we get queen g3, but this I think loses because I can. Does this actually lose or not? I'm gonna go for something really advanced. We're gonna line up the lateral triple stack here. I'm threatening mate in 1, so the only move he has is to take the pawn. It's literally the only move to stop mate. I go here, he has to take this one to guard against the checkmate. And now I line up the triple stack on the 7th rank. This is very rare. You almost never see the triple stack on the 7th rank like this. This is pretty random. He checks, I go here, and after check I go here. There's no check, and he's just losing. The triple stack just crushes him on the 7th rank. You almost never, I don't think I've ever seen this in a game. The triple stack on the 7th rank. It's just GG, completely GG. So let's play D. I'm gonna play d4 most of this educational arena today, simply because I think it's a better choice. And now I'm gonna go bishop g5. And do I have that chess book here, or is that at home? I'm looking on my shelf. I don't see it. But once again, so this also, to give you guys an example, this is called the Trumpovsky, not to be confused with Trump's house key opening. Very, very common old opening. This is an opening that actually, when I got to about 2350 level, it's an opening that I started incorporating, because I always played 1e4 up to that point. I'm just trying to find an image of the book. That's why I'm distracted again. Where is it? It goes bishop e7. I'll play knight to d2 here. Yeah, so this is the, let me open the open image in the new tab. open image in new tab. Yeah, so this was the book, you guys, for anyone. Whoops, let me put this up here. Let me change this. Wait, let me change it. So this is what it was called. It was called Secrets of the Trumpovsky by Julian. This is like way too zoned in. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. It was by Julian Hodge. It was called Secrets of the Trumpovsky Volume 1. There was no Volume 2, which was very sad because I remember reading this book pretty much cover to cover, and I was so excited about Volume 2, and Volume 2 never happened. So very sad, but it is what it is. Okay, let me change the scene, of course. Let's go Bishop D3 here. No, I love that book. I read that book cover to cover when I was like 2050 2300. I think it was a little bit lower than I thought I was, but it was an opening I played all the time. And I remember because in 1998, right after I'd broken the master level, I think it was about 2200, I played this tournament in Trinidad and Tobago. It was called like the Trinidad Open or something. This was in 1998, and I was doing really well in the tournament. And then in like the second to last round or last round, I played this player from Peru. His name was I think his name was Henry Urday, if I remember correctly, or Urday. And I played the Trumpovsky, and I got absolutely steamrolled in that game. It was like maybe like a 2450 player, but I got absolutely destroyed. So we get 98. I'm going to play h4 here, trying to open up the h file for my rook and bishop. So get h6 here. Now I don't really want to cheese my opponents. I want to play proper, just good chess with themes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go queen h5. If he takes, it's mate, and this is actually just a very solid move anyway, because after takes I can trade and go bishop h7, which is winning. So yeah, I read that book cover to cover. So he takes, I will take back here. Do I do a lot of reading these days? Not really, but back in those days, actually, you want to know something even funnier? So there's another, I'll explain this story after the game ends, because this story that really makes me sound like a not a boomer, but more like a grandpa or something. But I'll explain another story after this game ends. Yeah, okay. Takes, I think I just take, I go check, king has to slide over, and then I go knight f3, and the problem is the king is very weak here on h8. No, I think boomers, what do you call someone who's older than a boomer? Like boomer is somebody who's supposed to be like my age, right? Isn't a boomer supposed to be someone who's like in their 30s or maybe 40? What do you call someone who's like 60? I mean, I don't mean like I don't mean like the proper, like, what's it, Gen Z or what, not Gen Z, sorry. Baby boom, what is the generation before baby boomer? I don't know, but anyway, let's take dinosaur. Yes, thank you. No, I'm a millennial, actually. Technically I'm a millennial, which is the greatest generation ever, not gonna lie. But let's go here in rook h1. Yeah, I'm very, or wait, no, I'm not a millennial, am I? Wait, no, I'm not a millennial, am I? I'm Gen X. No, I'm not a millennial. Am I a millennial or not? No, I'm a millennial. I am. No, Gen X is 1965 to 1980. I am a millennial. Okay, I'm not crazy. Yeah, no, greatest generation ever. What can I say? So you get knight h6. I'm gonna go here, play rook h1, and win the game. We are from the worst generation. I think millennial is the greatest generation ever. Not in reality, no, but I think it's one of the best ones. Okay, I'm gonna go knight f1 and knight e3 to support this f5 pawn push. That's my idea, at least. But first there's this nasty threaded knight f5 check, winning the rook. So I'm gonna just very calmly move my rook up, king guards it, and I'm gonna proceed to play knight e3 and f5 next turn, because now on check takes, everything's guarding the rook. Greatest generation fought in the Second World War. Yeah, I was about to say that's probably objectively the greatest generation, but I'm very proud that I was a millennial, because I caught the tail end of some of the things that were really important in life, and anybody who was born later missed it completely. Let's go knight e3. No, I mean, like, actually, like, I'll give you an example. So I was thinking about I was thinking about like, you know, how I bought all these chess programs, these old things that I played when I was very young, and like I was thinking about like someone like Levy, for example, and I'm not like using him to like flame him or anything, but like someone like Levy, who's like I think he's 26 or 27. I mean, when Levy grew up playing chess, by the time he grew up playing, like all these things were completely gone. Like they did not exist when Levy was growing up playing chess. These pocket computer sets or all these different things, they didn't exist. Like the computer programs were already so strong that it's like he never experienced any of that whatsoever. And it is like that's why actually I'm really happy with the time period when I grew up. I'm gonna play G5, attack the knight here. And it's not why Levy won't be a GM, but it's simply the fact that all these things that like led to where we are today technologically they just didn't exist if you didn't grow up when I was growing up. He experienced better technology. Maybe. Yeah, he's same generation as you. Maybe technically he is, but like these like all these pocket chess sets and like even using like the very early versions of chess base to study games. I mean, Levy never had any of that. It was never part of his education because it was already outdated by the time that he was learning chess. Completely outdated. So I had electronics set with Gary on the box cover. Can't remember the official name. Yeah, okay. What's the count? 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5. Let's take and go king up, or that's a free pawn. So yeah, let's go knight f4 and trade some knights. Back in Hikaru's day, to walk 5 miles there and back to get to school. No, but I would always like every I think I've said this, but always on the weekends I would go and walk down the street to go get the newspaper, put my 50 cents in the machine to get the newspaper. Let's go check here. Knight d8. Win more pawns. I'm just simply winning too many pawns. Guess I'll play I want to guard the pawn, so I'm gonna go knight a5 to hit his pawn on c6. What's a newspaper? Yes. Yeah. What's a newspaper? I know. Take the pawn, king f4, king e5, and then king e6 and d5, d6, d7, d8. So yeah, the other story I want to tell you guys, because it just popped in my head, was I think it was like maybe in 1997, but because my stepfather's taught chess for so many years, he was so in chess, he would every so often buy like VHS tapes. And I remember there's a VHS tape, I want to say it was maybe Christopher Ward or Julian Hodgson, that where like I remember in 1997 I was watching a VHS tape analyzing the specific line, I think with queen b6, queen c1, and like bishop h6 I think was a move at the time. I think e6 was also a move. f5 later became the main line, but I remember watching VHS tapes. I forget which company it was that put it out, but in like 1997, and I think it was bishop h6 was the line that they were recommending as being best for black. Nowadays after bishop h6 e3 I think white is better, but I vaguely recall some of those tapes from a long time ago. Anyway, let's keep going. Next game, we get d4. Okay, so I'm going to continue to play my queen's gambit decline here with d5 and e6. I forget what company. Maybe it was like Batsford, Smart Chess, one of those companies that I just remember watching some VHS tapes on the Trumpovsky back in the old days. VHS tapes, Keck W. Yes, exactly. Let's go bishop e7 and castles. Yeah, if you capture the bishop, you lose the pawn on b2 and you lose the rook in the corner. Blockbuster was the best back then. Actually, you know, when I was in New York before going on to Norway, I went back home to White Plains, which is where I grew up, just outside of New York City in Westchester County, and I went by where the old Blockbuster was. Like, it was really nostalgic, because like I remember when I was young, like my stepdad and I, it was like every Friday night we'd go to Blockbuster, and you go rent your movies. Play knight d7 and probably h6. Yeah, the old days. Let's play h6, attack the bishop. Let's take with the knight. At Crazy Coffee Man, does Hikaru live in America currently? I mean, I live in a part of America. I mean, a lot of people don't consider it to be America. Let's play a5, but I live in Florida. Yeah, everyone talks bad about Florida and Texas, of course, but it is I do live in America, at least for right now. Let's go bishop d6, attack the knight. Renting movies is just horrible. Why is it horrible? I mean, I was gonna say something about Netflix, but I think technically I think I shouldn't say it, 'cause I think what wasn't isn't burning kind of illegal or not? I was gonna say something about Netflix as well in the early days, but let's not go there. Let's play Queen E7 and hit the knight on C5. Move the bishop back and play knight G4. So put pressure on the knight on C5. Goes rook E1 here. I still have a Netflix DVD that I didn't return. Yes, there's a program there was a program called Nero that everybody and their brother used back in the old days. But anyway, let's just take the knight, take the pawn here, and go from there. So yeah. Okay, rook c1 played. I'm gonna go queen a7 here. It's maybe not the best move, but queen a7, the idea is basically I guard the pawn at a5 and maybe I can push pawns in the center of the board. Yeah. Yeah. Goes e4. I think here I can just take. No, in the old days you had Cozio, you had LimeWire, of course you had Napster. I mean, yeah, way back in the old days. But yeah. Anyway, old days, old times. Hikaru, please play some Valorant. Not today, not today. I haven't played Valorant in like God knows how many years. Get queen b3 here. Now I'm up 2 pawns. I'm 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5. Now I'm gonna go e3 and open up the center of the board. Again, queen on a7, very ideally placed to open up the center. I did beat only up on Saturday, but apparently nobody watched my stream on Saturday, so I will play it and try to get a sub 1 hour today if I can. That's my plan. Okay, let's just checkmate in 1. That's the goal. But yes, I will play only up later today. So keep going. I watched you climb. Yeah.